I feel as though my internship reacted fairly well with the city shutting down. I am not aware of anything that they did personally, such as them going on quarantine individually for 2 weeks or anything of that sort, but I do know that the owner of the company is very understanding, and I am sure that if any of the girls did need to be quarantined for 2 weeks, that she would completely understand and be more than glad that they did so. So I did not stay in Nashville. I flew back home to Pennsylvania. Personally, it was a fairly easy decision. I did not want to stay in Nashville, nor did Belmont University. They encouraged and strongly asked us to leave, which I was very glad about. I did extra precautions when I did fly home. I had a ton of hand sanitizer as well as Clorox wipes. So I hand sanitized, washed my hands in the airport, and then once I got onto the plane, I wiped down my seat, the tray, seat belt, everything. I probably went a little overboard, but I would rather be overprotective than underprotective and have the risk of catching COVID. The one question I definitely want to ask an internship, let alone a job now after this whole thing, is how they handled this situation. I want to know if the employees / interns were taken care of and how they handled the whole situation entirely, as well as if another situation like this would come up in the future, how the company would handle it. It definitely took me a few days to get used to the new normal, but now I'm starting to get into the habit of it, and it is much better than everybody out and about. My mom has actually made masks for us because our governor of Pennsylvania has issued that everybody leaving their house has to wear a mask. My mom is also making masks to donate to local hospitals, as well as Pennsylvania is now on a shutdown, so basically we can't leave the state without getting arrested, charged hefty fine, or anything of that sort. So it's definitely a learning curve, and I'm finding different ways to not be bored and not be watching Netflix 24/7. Personally, I'm facing two fears. The number one fear is definitely income and making money, such as a job. I have a few ideas that I can do at home to keep me busy and possibly making some money, but I do miss being able to work at the place that I work here in Pennsylvania. The other fear I have is going and moving out of my Belmont University apartment. I was planning on moving out in the following week or two, but both Pennsylvania and Tennessee are on a shutdown, and I do not want to be legally punished for that decision. So a fear of mine is moving out on time and not getting fined and following laws. My daily life from this has changed, not a lot, but a significant amount. I'm not used to just staying at home, being able to do homework in my pajamas or anything of that sort. But I definitely have been trying to stick to a schedule. I wake up at a certain time. I work from the time I wake up to a set time, and then I don't look at it until the next day. I also try and go outside at least once a day for a few minutes, even if it's 15 to 30 minutes, just to get fresh air and to keep my mind off of my electronics. That is the other thing that I do find myself getting sucked into, is the electronics, and I'm definitely trying to work around that situation. A positive is I get to spend so much more time with my family, and I don't get to see my family a lot since I live out of state. I also get a lot of home cooked meals, and I get to see my dog, which, that's a complete perk. I miss her so much. A negative is definitely being home for a longer period than I expected, as well as not being able to leave my house. just the fact that I'm not used to being stuck with my parents 24/7 is definitely a learning curve, and there have been bumps in the road, but we're all trying to learn and grow from this experience. So it's a positive and a negative that I'm constantly home, and they are too.